55 Central is just full of amazing people that just love what they're doing.
We're really proud to be involved with 55 Central.
It's a brilliant way of supporting people in my community.
I was actually staying at 55 for a couple of months.
Everyone was so friendly here and it's become a family.
Anything that you can think of that's holding you back from achieving your best life, they can help you with that.
55 Central is very special. It is better than anything else you can ask for.
A bit of a privilege actually to give people a second chance and offer them an opportunity that they can come and build themselves back up again.
Before there was 55 Central, there was Accra. And before Accra, there was Pandora Young, the woman with a heart big enough to inspire a movement. With her husband Kevin by her side, she paved the way of an industry that now helps thousands every day. And she did it with grace, humour, and maybe just a little magic. Pandora was a well-educated nurse, violinist, and businesswoman. In the early 1970s, she was raising her 4 boys in the home she'd grown up in on Walcott Street in Mount Lawley. Her first marriage had ended after her husband John had fallen into alcohol addiction. She met and married Kevin Young in 1972, a country boy with a spirit for adventure. They met as he was going door to door selling beauty products.
My name is Kevin Young, and both my wife and myself started an organisation called Accra. That first meeting with her actually it shook me. And she said, no, I'm not interested in makeup and stuff, thank you. But some of the girls might be. If you want to come back via the back gate, then do that. And so I went back. And 16 weeks later, we were married. She was just so beautiful, really, in everything that she did. She lifted me up. We just connected.
Pandora and Kevin connected not only on a romantic level, but a spiritual one as well. After helping Pandora's first husband John through an alcohol addiction that had him sleeping on the streets, they realised they were both passionate about helping others in this situation, if only they could figure out how.
I was reading an article in the Reader's Digest of an experiment that was being done in one of the Baltic states. She was happily reading that, and she leaned across that night and said, well, I would like to do this, I would like to see, and the words were, what we can do for these guys, because there's nothing there for them or for the families. We had the house, and it was a big house, and so we just started collecting guys. We would chat to them and talk about it, and if they decided they wanted to get off the booze and do something with their lives, then we would take them on. All we were doing was offering them a home and encouragement to move up. Yeah, nearly all the first clients, there were guys who had been to the wars, Second World War, some of them, Vietnam and South Korea. Even the forces didn't have any programs. So they were the first ones that we got.
The Youngs offered their first visitors just a night's reprieve from the cold streets. But nights turned to weeks, and weeks to months as the men slowly became a normal part of the family's daily life. The men could come and go as they pleased, stay as long as they wished, and even have friends over. But there was one rule.
But they could not drink on the property. That was the one rule. No drinking on the property, period. They brought any booze home, then interesting enough, they lost the booze. That in itself creates a number of challenges. I don't know whether you've ever tried taking booze off an alcoholic, but it didn't work so terribly well. But they accepted the rule.
As more and more homeless turned up on the doorstep seeking Kevin and Pandora's help, they began to attract attention. Some good attention, and some not so good attention.
The council got to hear about what we were doing. They started inquiring as to what was going on, And we hadn't intended ever to start a boarding house. But by the time the council came in, we had 20 odd guys in the house. So there wasn't any covering up what we were doing. As far as they were concerned, we were a boarding house and we didn't have a licence. So we had to go find a house. And fortunately, not half a dozen streets, I guess, down at 13 Field Street, there was this vacant C-class hospital. 32 beds, I think, ablution box and showers and so forth, men and women, and big dining room and commercial kitchen and yeah, the whole lot. We had 26 by the time we got Field Street. There was lots needed doing to it to bring it up to standard to work as it had been vacant for some years. And the guys hopped in to clean the place up, do painting that needed to be doing, fix up some taps and so forth, and they all hopped in and agreed to pay board. So then we did have a boarding house.
And thus began the Association for Care and Rehabilitation of Alcoholics and Homeless, or more simply, ACRA. Humane, intuitive treatment based on life experience instead of clinical models. But it flourished, and soon too did a refuge for women and children also opened under their care. Churches, volunteers and local businesses joined in. Perth was learning that compassion wasn't just a kindness, it was key.
We finished up with 8 houses dotted around down in North Perth in Bulwer Street and so forth, and yeah, there were 8 places around, and we finished up with accommodating about 90 people a night. When we got somebody who could look after the place, then we would go off and take 3 or 4 of them with us, and we'd go off to the goldfields or up north. And yeah, it was good.
Kevin and Pandora were honoured with state and national awards for their service. Their work reshaped how the city and later the state thought about homelessness and addiction. But eventually the time came to step back. They had done their part. They'd built a foundation that could outlast them.
Probably about 1980, we started thinking about moving on because we weren't offering anything new at that point, all that we could do. Then, of course, they shifted to Maylands.
ACRA later moved to Maylands and became 55 Central. A new name, a new home. But its heart remained the same.
Kevin and Pandora started ACRA in their own home, so that spirit of compassion, humility, and doing whatever it takes is still very much alive today. My name is Razif Ismail, and I'm the CEO at 55 Central. Even though we have grown into a bigger operation, I like to think that the same family living room vibe is still here, just with a few more coffee cups and a lot more paperwork.
I was absolutely amazed, I'll be quite frank with you, and particularly now having been around for a while, to really get to know some of the staff and so forth. Absolutely remarkable. The atmosphere they've got in there, the camaraderie they've got, the care for each other they've got, and the care that they take of the people. The big reason why it's like it is now is because of Razif. Because I think he is the reason. The heart of it is back in there. It can't just happen. Somebody's got to have a heart at the top.
Today, 55 Central's heart beats like ACRA's through the voices of those it serves.
I literally got here with the clothes on my back and a dog check. That's all I had. Most of my dog check went to my accommodation here. But they helped me with clothing, they helped me with fooding, they helped me with everything. The first day I got a bit overwhelmed because how much help they were offering. Whether it's mental health or physical health or whatever it is, fines, court systems, child stuff you've got to go through. Whatever it is, they'll help you with it.
My first impression when I arrived was I was quite happy because I was going to have a roof over my head and I didn't have to worry about people coming during the night. So my first impression was it was like a saviour. 55 Central is very special. The people in here, they've got your problems in their hearts and they will help you in any way they can. There's numerous programs that they can point you towards that will help you.
It was amazing to come back and to be homeless ourselves and to go in through the 55 Central, but to have that, to come back in at that stage and to have Rosie find a property for us to go into, yeah, that was quite emotional actually.
He came to 55 Central to seek help. That moment really brought home how this work is a full circle, because every person's story matters and sometimes those stories come back around in the most unexpected ways.
The assistance that could be obtained after so many years of being away and to experience it ourselves, which was the unique part. What we put in was now given back to us. Full circle. It was incredible. We started something that we had no idea how long it was going to last or where it was going to go. But to have it come out 50 years later and it's still going and the atmosphere down there is extraordinary. I'm so grateful for what's happened. And it's beautiful to see. And I have no reason to believe it won't be there for another 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It will just continue on.